I've been thinking about themes, just personally, in my personal artistic and creative life, themes for 2021. And to me, it's about refining my path. A lot of it is just like, what do I see in the horizon? How has my dream changed or altered? Has it? Because a lot of I think for a lot of us, it's about seeing the horizon. There's something that we want there, and now how do we get it? How do we get it? By being creative, by fulfilling our passions, and then something that I'm kind of will try to talk about in the future is also how to like remaining happy while doing this, because we know what a grind it can be. Well, second thing, being prolific. Uh, 2020 for me at least, it kind of left me. It was supposed to be a year where I was prolific and where I was putting out content and things, but I admit I got paralyzed. I didn't really want to dive in. I know a lot of stuff happened in the music world, like all those lives, all people streamed music live. Somehow I just didn't. I don't know if it's the lone wolf in me, but I just didn't feel comfortable, or it didn't feel right for me to kind of dive into that all that much. So I had to figure out another way, and I really had to figure out what is it that I want to put out there. And this is a part of that, because I being prolific, a lot of it in my mind, it has to do with being prolific at connecting with people. It's more not, of course, being artistically prolific and making more music, releasing more music, but really for me the connection part is that's what I've been missing the most for the couple of years that I've tried to start these efforts of communicating and putting out content. And not just, for me, it's not for the sake of putting out content, it's for the sake of communication and connection. So being prolific in communicating, being prolific in connecting with people. And I know I'm gonna say, like, communication is a word you're gonna hear a lot, and you're gonna get tired of it. I'll try to, um, I'll try to, I will try to restrain myself. But it's just such a big proportion of what I've been missing. That's like some people, for some musicians right now, it's like they can't wait to go live, like get to actually play live shows, and that's all they hunger for. Well, for me, it is getting a connection, talking to people, and maybe helping people. Who knows? And I think the third theme for me is just being bolder, and that means things like this. Just being, I don't feel comfortable being live here. I think a few people actually feel comfortable, because it's such an empty space. It's such a kind of, it can get so monotonous to hear your own voice. There's but 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 it's a process of learning to do it, and being bolder, just putting my own perspective out there, because as a musician and an artist, I kind of think, having communicated a lot with artists, I actually think I might have something, just in terms of perspective, I might have something to offer to a lot of people who are. I know a lot of people may get kind of irritated from my message, because it's not the most traditional way an artist speaks about making art and then putting it out in the world. But I think a lot of people who are in the middle kind of will find at least some, in some ways, insightful the things that I have to say. And if nothing else, like, you can disagree with me, and that's fine, and I welcome with open arms your messages and your opinions on the things that I say. Like, let me know I'm wrong. I would love it, because there's a lot of conversation that has to happen in the artist community. We'll get into that in a bit, but there's a lot of conversation that has to happen within the creative community about what the reality is now and what it will turn into. Because changes are, if you think things have changed, just wait 2 years and like the past 10 years in my estimate haven't been as drastic as the next couple of years will be as far as creating things, making art. It's getting harder and harder to predict the future, and especially in the creative field where things are standing still. And when things are standing still and when we get to moving again, that's where it gets interesting, because things will probably not just pick up from where we left off. It's very likely that things will just like pick up from a completely strange perspective, completely strange point in time, and then we just have to deal. So yeah, but so my themes for this year are refining my path, being prolific, and being bolder.